Hello and welcome back to the Help Where Nerds podcast. Today is going to be a bit of a fun one as we're having a bit of a debate. But before we get into that, I'm joined by two nerds of the round table. Do you want to introduce yourself, guys?
I'm Bob.
And I'm Ashley.
That was a bit of a long pause, guys.
I was waiting for Rob to go first. You know?
It's because in my head my brain went ladies first.
my head went OGs first.
Yeah.
So
yes, I'm joined by Rob and Ashley, and today we're going to be debating who the better Sam is and what is a Sam, basically. So why every protagonist needs one. So
Good go by directing sexy.
The basic premise is that we were talking off podcast and we noticed that some of the best projects, the side character that is the main reason the quest or series gets completed is usually named Sam. You have Samwise Gamgee being the one to carry Frodo at the end, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to complete his quest at all. You have Samwell Tarly, who literally fills John in on all the information. And as Rob said, you have Sam Winchester, without which Dean would have probably died even more than he actually does in the series.
And we have to give an honorary shout out to Sam Wilson as well, who kind of acts like Captain America's in the original Avengers series of films, right-hand man too, and then gets the torch passed to him. But we're just going to focus on the first three today because Sam Wilson kind of sits a little bit outside.
Yeah, because he elevates himself above the original position of the Sam.
Yeah. And what we're hoping by the end of the episode is that you'll realise that you don't need to be called a Sam to be a Sam. But they do tend to be called Sam, and it's a little bit weird. So we're going to debate which Sam is the best Sam.
So I suppose we're better off starting off with the OG, the guy that without which Sauron would have ruled over Middle-earth. Shall we start with Samwise?
Let's start with Samwise Gamgee. So I am battling Samwise Gamgee's corner here as the major Sam fan here.
I was going to say major Lord of the Rings fan, man.
I was going to say major Lord of the Rings fan, and then I remembered you're here too, Rob, and I thought that's a debate for a different day, which one of us stands here as the Lord of the Rings expert. So we'll park that for now. That can be an argument for the future. But yeah, I'm going to start with Samwise, the OG, the main one, except I'm going to throw a spanner in the works straight away because Sam's not his name. So for anyone that is a kind of a casual watcher of Lord of the Rings, or as in, if this is true of you, please go and read the books and watch the movies. Maybe you're a casual viewer and you've seen Rings of Power on Amazon, and that's basically kind of your way in to the Tolkien universe. If that's the case, please go expand the horizons. Maybe you've only read The Hobbit, in which case, we're talking about Lord of the Rings, we're talking about the main trilogy of, books, the saga of books. They tend to be released as free, but it's a bigger overall saga in the Tolkien universe. But if you're a casual kind of dipping in and out, you won't know this, but if you are a major fan, you will. The whole point of the books is that you're supposed to be reading a story written by Bilbo, Frodo, and Sam that has been translated for us. So Samwise Gamgee is his name in the language we can understand. But in the language of Middle-earth, which is Westeros, his actual name is Banazir Gal, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Galpsy.
He was the better god than I did.
And in both languages, his name essentially means halfway or simple. And that's to do with the fact that Sam loves a good, simple life. He is a gardener by trade and he loves his home comforts. He is the one that has this love for life. But to fit our theory, and because it's the name he is known most by, we are going to refer to him as Samwise. Same as we're not going to call Frodo. Oh my god, what's Frodo's name? It's something like Balsi or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, they all have different names in the book, and it's all in the appendices. If we get to talk about the Lord of the Rings book on a separate podcast, we'll go through the appendices of Lord of the Rings because they're very interesting. But yeah, Sam, the gardener. Now he is Frodo's most loyal companion. I mentioned the fact that he's Frodo's gardener because I think that adds a bit of context to their relationship. Throughout the books and, of course, the movies, he will always refer to Frodo as Mr. Frodo. And he does that because Frodo is Sam's superior in Hobbit society. Sam is literally Frodo's employee. And he is thrown into this quest by Gandalf because he ain't dropping no eaves, sir. And then Gandalf pulls him through and he's like, right, you're in charge of looking after Frodo. But Sam goes wholeheartedly and willingly because there's this employer-servant bond there, but there's also a deeper bond that's brotherly. So it's not in the movies, but it is in the books, that Bilbo has kind of brought Sam up as a kind of second father figure. Sam's dad is called Hamfast, and he was Bilbo's gardener. So Sam becomes Frodo's gardener. But because Sam has kind of learnt the job from his dad and has been around the Baggins family for so long, Bilbo has also taught Sam to read and write and tell him stories of everything that kind of happens in The Hobbit and all these kind of amazing stories about elves and dwarves and dragons. That's why Sam is always so excited when the elves are mentioned. We're going to see the elves because he's heard all these stories, but he's never actually had these kind of adventures for himself until, of course, he's thrown into the main adventure. So Sam and Frodo kind of have this dual relationship between this kind of brotherly relationship, this also kind of master-servant kind of relationship. And it has been argued that their relationship is very heavily influenced by kind of war relationships that Tolkien would have seen during the First World War. So this idea of the officer and the Batman. So a Batman, not the Batman, not the Dark Knight. But a Batman in terms of war terms is the servant that follows an officer around. They take care of the guns, they carry the bags, they do that sort of thing. They look after the main officer. And I'd argue, in addition to this kind of influence from World War One, we've also got a little bit of medieval fealty conventions going off.
Yeah.
With Frodo as the Lord, Sam as his retainer. I would be absolutely remiss if I did not tell you that Tolkien, by profession, is a medievalist. He is Professor Tolkien and did work for the University of Leeds for a time. It's why a lot of his names come from like old Norse texts and old medieval texts. If you're that sort of inclined to that sort of literature, especially if you read Sori Saga, you'll recognize a bunch of names. And it's this kind of pinnacle relationship, this kind of this ridiculously close bond that means that Sam's bravery and loyalty never waver, including in the face of danger. And it's all facing obstacles and challenges and putting himself in harm's way to protect Frodo. Like, that is Sam's main focus. To be loyal to Frodo, to protect Frodo. Even when Frodo is being consumed by the power of the ring, Sam proves time and time again that he's willing to do whatever it takes to help Frodo complete his quest. I think that's important as well. At no point does Sam think, I'm going to take over. This is my mission. I'm going to help. even when things look dire and Sam takes the ring off Frodo to protect it, he only sees himself as a custodian of the ring. You know, even when they're going up Mount Doom, Sam carries Frodo rather than carrying the ring. He recognizes that the person to be the ring bearer, to carry the burden of the ring, that's Frodo. So that's Frodo's role, but Sam's role is to protect Frodo. And never does he want to kind of outdo Frodo. There's never kind of like an ambition thing going in the background. It's all, everything he does is in service to this higher power. And, you know, most people would argue that Sam is representing the ordinary person that rises to greatness. Like I said, he's not a member of the nobility. He's not a warrior. He's a gardener. He comes from an ordinary hobbit background, a humble background, but it's through his loyalty to Frodo and by extension to the Shire and to hobbits themselves, and this like deep love of home that Sam stays grounded in, that is what makes him shine as a character, because he's never looking for riches or glory. He doesn't want power. He wants a simple life. And I think that's really exemplified as well in the bit that where the ring tries to tempt him. It's, you know, like, oh, with the power I yield, you could do whatever you want. The ring tempts him with the idea that they can rebuild Middle Earth as a beautiful garden of peace. Like, everybody else is dreaming of crowns and glory. Sam's literal, like, tempting dream that the ring tries to sell to him is a world at peace where everyone just gets to, like, garden and have a chill life. So what does Sam represent? Hope, loyalty, resourcefulness. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that, like, without Sam's knowledge of plants and gardening, you know, the mission would actually probably be a lot harder. They use that knowledge in order to eat food when food starts running out. They use the knowledge to enter Mordor undetected. He even makes a makeshift rope out of their elven cloaks because he can to help Frodo climb stairs. Sineth Ungol, I think is how you pronounce it. And that's all coming from his kind of practical knowledge. And I think this is where the pinnacle story of the Sam, and hopefully the other two are going to match this as well when we debate this, is that Sam is amazing. And I love Sam, and Sam is my favourite character. And if I could marry a fictional character, I would marry Samwise Gamgee, right? But he can't
I would fight you for him.
What was that?
I would fight you for him.
Okay, well, that's again part 3 of this debate. Who gets to marry him? Who's the expert and who gets to marry him?
You've basically said everything I could think of.
Oh God! Oh, I'm so glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
you were saying everything that was popping into my head as I was thinking it.
But I just want to caveat this with the fact that Sam can't replace Frodo. That's what makes him a Sam.
I mean,
that is the theory here.
Sam sums it up himself.
Yeah.
At the end, especially in the movie, he sums it up himself where he says that he can't carry it for him, but he can carry him.
I can carry him, yeah. It's like Frodo is the ring bearer, Sam is the ring's protector. You know, he protects Frodo. And I think that's really important because the burden is Frodo's to bear. Frodo is the self-sacrificing hero. You know, Frodo will never recover from the journey he takes. But Sam, on the other hand, you know, he gets to go back to the Shire. He gets his rosy cotton. He gets Bag End as well. He gets Frodo's house in the end and becomes the mayor of the Shire. So he is massively important to the story. And without him, Frodo cannot succeed. But Frodo would never be able to Sam would never be able to take Frodo's place.
Yeah.
And I think that just really exemplifies the theme of Lord of the Rings, or at least one of the main themes for me. And that's the idea that even the smallest and most seemingly insignificant person has the most significant impact on the world. And Sam does that through just positivity and loyalty,
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to me. I'm going to make myself cry because I love Sam so much.
I mean,
but yeah,
carrying on that theme.
The main Sam, my Sam.
I mean, carrying on that theme, we're into the next Sam with Samwise Gamgee from Game of Thrones. Now, obviously, the book series isn't finished, but the show is. And which means Sam's story ends in two different places, depending on which version you're talking about. Which is different from, obviously, Samwise Gamgee. Which, obviously, the work was finished, so it ends the exact point it ends in the book. Now, but to mirror what you said with Samwise Gamgee, he is brought up in a family that values fighters over all else. But that's not him. He's a bookworm, a learner. He just wants to read and understand the world to the point where he's deemed a failure by his own family and cast off to the Night's Watch. And that's where his story really starts, to be honest, because he's picked on by the recruits until Jon steps in. And that's where they form that bond, which is, again, I'd say it's brotherly. And it builds off of the fact that Jon protected Sam when no one else would. He's used to people hurling things at him and being called all this stuff because he's not like everybody else. But Jon stuck up for him, which is abnormal for Sam. And then they're sent beyond the wall. That's when his story progresses even further to the point where he meets Gilly and at Craster's house and slays the White Walker, but nobody believes him except his friends that he formed through Jon, and he learns all the information. Now, in the books, Sam's story ends with him going off and becoming a maester after leaving Gilly and her child that becomes Little Sam with his family. Now, but in the show, we know that continues beyond that, where he learns Jon's true history, reveals that to Jon, and helps guide Jon not only as commander of the Night's Watch before his death, but also into defeating the White Walkers and the Night King, and then helping with the fallout after Dany goes mad, and helping Bran become the new king, which for his Frodo figure, Jon in the show is banished at the end and sent beyond the wall. In the book, he's still dead, but in the show, he's banished and sent beyond the wall, where Sam gets everything he really wanted. As a kid, he becomes the Grand Maester and sits at the side of the king as the head person, most knowledgeable person in the realm. That's his arc. So like Sam from Lord of the Rings, he gets what he wanted in the end, where his protagonist doesn't, really. They get a punishment, or trauma, whereas they get a reward for everything they did. And obviously there's not as much in-depth to go into as there is with yours, because the story isn't finished. And I feel like using the show is a bit of a disservice because
you're showing.
Yeah, because we don't, from where the show should have left off with where the books left off, anything past that isn't fair. But it shows the same characteristics of knowledge, wisdom, being the guide to one of the main heroes, because Game of Thrones doesn't really have a protagonist, being that like supportive character.
No?
I don't think Game of Thrones has a protagonist. No, it has multiple protagonists. Like
It's called Jon Snow.
he's one of them, but there are multiple
There's
different people.
side that have a main event, but the main character would be classed as Jon Snow.
Yeah,
It's
I
the guy-
agree. I think
It's the guy they always go back to.
I would argue that your main character is either Dany or Jon in the Song of Ice and Fire. Like, but in terms of the quest, if we were to put it in a kind of Frodo versus Sam sort of way, then the quest is surely the White Walkers
Yeah,
and the events going on beyond the wall, which means that Jon is
is the
main
Frodo
character.
for that specific scenario. Yeah,
yeah.
which is why I would say one of for the overarching, but for that specific thing.
But
yeah.
I agree. I think Jon. I don't know what the rest of the books are going to do if they ever do come out, but I personally think the story feels like it's about Jon. It's Jon's story.
Yeah.
Really. But yeah.
I think what I was trying to say, because it's a bit more difficult to say, but I think what I'm trying to say is we get more detail on Samwise than we do on Sam Tarly. We get nuggets of information, obviously, through Game of Thrones about his backstory, how his family treat him, how he's treated when he first gets there, and his aspiration to become a maester, and him like meeting Gilly, forming that family unit with her and little Sam. But beyond that, we don't really get much more from it. He's just there really as a guiding role for Jon until the show decided to pivot away from the White Walkers.
Do you think, though, that without Sam, Jon would have been as successful as he is?
No, because without Sam, he wouldn't have been able to figure out how to defeat the White Walkers. It's Sam that figures out that it's the Valyrian steel swords and the dragon glass that can shatter the White Walkers' physical forms.
Sam is basically Jon's brain.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to describe it.
That is a fantastic way to describe it. You helping me put the thoughts of what I've got in my head down. Like,
Well, I'm not just pretty face.
I thought you were. I could have sworn you were just a model.
Or some people.
But yeah, I think like you said, he's the brains of the operation, where Jon is the brawn.
Yeah, and I know it's not happened in the books yet, but if we were to take it as the plot points, maybe not how they happen, but the kind of bullet point plot points of the series is where the book series was originally going to go. I say was because I'm not sure if George R.R. Martin's probably going to change some of them in...
I have a feeling that's why we haven't got anything else yet.
Yeah. But if we take the plot where we were going, would the White Walkers and kind of Jon's mission there ever succeed without Sam? I think we can clearly say no.
No, it wouldn't.
Even with Bran's I can see into the past powers as the Three-Eyed Raven, you still need Sam. Because I think
Bran
as well as
works because Sam's there to corroborate what Bran says. Like,
yeah, I was just about to say that. I think if the whole "you're Aegon" thing would have just come from Bran without Sam, Jon wouldn't have believed it.
Like, we're dealing with a world where magic is sparse. It's there, but it's sparse. And people were skeptical that Dany had brought back the dragons. I don't think they'd be open to believing a dude could literally visit the past. Not without someone as brainy as Sam to point out whatever Bran's saying is the God's honest truth. I think if Sam hadn't have found those records in the Maester's den or halls, then John would have had a hard time believing anything that came out of Bran's mouth, to be perfectly honest. Because I know he's dealt with the White Walkers and Melisandre, but I think it's because of his experiences with Melisandre why he wouldn't trust Bran's visions.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think she leaves a bad taste in most people's mouths when it comes to magic. Awesome character, but I don't think she goes in the favor of helping people understand and, agree with what's being said to them through magic.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's all we can really say about Sam, because it depends on where we leave off. If we leave off with the books, then he's just entering the Citadel. So he hasn't even found anything about Aegar yet.
Right, yeah.
He's just left Gilly with his family up at the Tarly place, and Little Sam, which may not be Little Sam, because I didn't remember this until I was doing the research, but John switched Little Sam with, what's his name? The King Beyond the Walls baby.
Mance
Raider's baby in the book. Yeah, and when I was doing my research, I went back and reread through the book as well, and John switches Mance Raider and Gilly's babies so that Melisandre can't sacrifice Mance's son for her king's blood ritual thing. So it's not actually Little Sam that they've got right now.
Yeah.
I know I completely forgot all about that. I can see why they cut that out of the show. It kind of makes John a bit more of a dick.
Yeah.
But speaking of questionable decisions, shall we move on to the last Sam?
Mr. Sexy.
Yes. I believe this is your corner, Rob. Well, you are the expert.
I'm good, that's that. Sir, Mr. Sam Winchester. To put it easily, bluntly, Dean would probably be dead, a lot quicker without his brother. Sam's the one who normally is the one to work shit out, mostly knows what the fuck he's doing, and the series wouldn't be a thing if Dean didn't go back and get Sam to help find Dad. For me, once again, he's the brains.
I've never watched Supernatural before.
Yeah.
At all. You said that he saves his brother from death like countless times.
Oh yeah, they both die a lot and both save each other a lot.
I was gonna say, as a casual person hearing, oh yeah, they both die a lot. Are they immortal?
Yeah.
No, they're just best friends with an angel.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're just bringing them back to life.
Yeah. It basically starts off with Dean going to get Sam because their dad's gone missing.
Right.
And he needs help trying to find him. And Sam reluctantly goes with him after his girlfriend gets murdered by a demon. The same demon who murdered their mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of like the quest of Supernatural, like if we're saying like Frodo's quest is to destroy the ring, John's was to defeat the White Walkers. What are the Winchesters' quest? Like, is that to find their dad, or is it to defeat the demons?
The first season is to find the dad, and then it's to hunt down the thing that killed the mother, and then it's to stop the apocalypse.
And then
okay.
And then it's to stop the apocalypse, and then it's to stop another apocalypse, and then it's to stop another apocalypse.
And the last series is to stop God.
Okay.
From destroying the multiverse.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Kind of a bit of a jump then from season 1 to the end.
Yeah, there is 15 seasons.
Okay. Well, if we take Finding Dad and Stopping Apocalypse 1, how much does Sam help? Is it Dean, the other one?
Yes.
to accomplish that goal? Like if we go off what you've just said,
Oh, quite a
Steve
lot.
wants to find Sam to say, "I need your help to find Dad."
Yeah.
Like, how instrumental is Sam in that story arc?
They would have found Dad.
Oh, they wouldn't have done. Okay.
No.
The apocalypse probably would have happened a lot quicker. And he probably would be dead. Because, like in, well, the other two, Dean is the brawn and Sam's the brain.
Mm.
I mean, unlike in the other two, we actually get to see, because of multiverse shit, what happens if everything doesn't go according to plan. And
Yeah.
it's not good. So let's just say if the brothers
No.
weren't together, the universe would be screwed.
In one universe, they were very cannibal.
So there's very big. It's that's the thing I'm seeing as well in all three of these stories. It's not small. Like there's very big stakes in all three universes. Like
Oh, yeah. If
the end, essentially all three are like, without a Sam, the world ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Sauron had got the ring without Sam helping Frodo, the White Walkers probably would have took over Westeros, and if not the world, and Lucifer definitely would have ruled the entire universe. So, yeah. There's also another consistency I've noticed between all three.
Okay.
Every single one of them are the brains of the operation.
Yes.
So would we say that also has to be a factor then in being called a Sam? You have to be the brains.
I think so. It looks like you have to be intelligent and enough to guide the quest. Because you said in your description that without Samwise, Frodo wouldn't have been able to eat or sneak into where he needed to sneak into. It was Samwise's knowledge of plants that helped with all of that.
Plants and terrain, yeah.
In Game of Thrones, it's literally Sam that looks up and figures out, because of his personal experience with a White Walker, the way to destroy them. So without that, there is no killing the White Walkers. And in Supernatural, it's literally Sam Winchester that does all the research for every single hunt they go on.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So
I find they also ask questions the audience want to ask.
Yeah.
So for me, they're also the audience character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're the one you can relate to the most.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking it's a good job we didn't talk about Sam Wilson, because I'm not sure he fits into that category, that he's like the brains Cap.
Then again, Sam Wilson is definitely smarter than Steve Rogers.
I think Sam Wilson does fit that role in a unique and niche way, as Sam Wilson is the one that has the knowledge of the modern world where Steve comes from, the 1940s.
That's a good point.
It's a niche way of going about it. It's not like it's not like his knowledge specifically helps track down and defeat the Winter Soldier, or it stopped the Civil War in Captain America Civil War. But it's that he's the one that, him and Natasha Romanoff are the ones that help Steve acclimate to the 21st century.
That would be really funny if we've counteracted our own theory by saying that Steve's Sam is actually Natasha.
I mean, technically, if we're going on what we've been discussing and the way that we've debated all this, yeah, she
in the comic.
He probably fits the role a bit better, right?
In the Captain America Winter Soldier, she fits that role definitely better. She's the one that's trying to set him up on dates. She's the one that's talking him through how to use his mobile phone. She's the one that keeps adding movies to his movie list.
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, she's very much the same.
So yeah, I suppose.
It's quite funny that we started this thing like honorary mention to Sam Wilson, and now we're like, oh, even though Captain America has a Sam, I don't think there's an argument. The Sam he has is not his Sam.
His Sam is
he's
actually a
definitely
woman called Black Widow, aka Natasha Romanoff.
Okay, I'd be really
AKA character answer.
I'd be so interested to see what listeners think about this.
Yeah, I would too.
Who is Captain America's Sam?
The actual debate in the comments should be, who is Captain America's Sam? Let us know.
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose we've introduced all three Sams. But who's the best Sam?
Who's the Sam in Helping Earth? Is it Robert Pattinson?
Yeah. I'm gonna say that Samwise is the OG Sam. He's the one that kind of this whole conversation started around. But I would put Samwise as the best Sam.
Yes.
See, I thought there'd be more of a debate on this.
Oh my god, are you in agreement?
I don't think there's going to be a debate, because the more we've talked about it, I'd feel like the others took inspiration from Samwise.
Probably.
I think he's the archetype that they emulated when they created these other characters.
Yeah. That makes me feel proud. Well done, Samwise. But yeah, the OG, the original Sam. But yeah, I guess the next question would be, and it would be for a different episode, is who else fits into the category of the Sam? The sidekick about who the quest isn't possible. And do they always have to be called Sam? As in, I can't think of any more kind of
I
like
want to
secondary
throw a
characters.
funny one in there that's not...
I can throw a Harry Potter one in. Hermione.
Good shout.
Oh,
That is
brain.
brains,
So what did we
loyalty,
say?
without
Loyalty.
which none of the quests would get complete.
And secondary to the self-sacrificing hero.
That is literally... She fits the role perfectly.
It's this story. Because I don't care what some fans say. There's not a love connection between them.
Yeah, they're brother-sister relationship. Cousins at most. At least, sorry.
But you asked for fit the book.
Doesn't really fit any other archetype, but Velma kind of fits the brainy archetype from Scooby-Doo.
I've just been signalled to tell you that Brock from Pokemon probably fits this description too.
No, I give it Misty more than Brock.
I mean,
apparently, yeah, could be argued either way.
Could be argued either way with that. I mean, Brock is the one in the original series that is filling Ash in on all the information.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But yeah, I think Hermione's a good shout for Sam.
Annabeth.
That's Sam. Annabeth.
Yeah.
I mean, she fits more of the love interest role in there, but the brain's the one without which Percy would fail the quest. That is Annabeth.
Simon in the Mortal Instrument.
Simon in the Mortal Instruments.
There's a lot of sidekicks, aren't there? That
the book I'm reading now is definitely a Sam. Her name's Alice, but definitely a Sam character. Now I'm thinking about it.
I think there's a lot of Sam characters out there, and I think actually the more we talk about this, the more we could be like, actually, yeah, this is a fantasy. This has become a fantasy trope.
I think it is a trope, yeah.
I'd love to see, actually, because I obviously we started this with Lord of the Rings, but was this apart from obviously medieval fealty myths and legends and stuff that I was talking about in the beginning, because obviously novels don't actually come around until the major invention of the printing press. I think the first novel is in the late 1800s, but I haven't researched that in a very long time, so don't fact check me. But actually, yeah, not sure when the first novel came out. But it'd be interesting to see if there's actually a novel that predates Lord of the Rings that has a Sam character.
Possibly. There
probably is. As in, like I said, Tolkien pulled heavily on Norse mythology and the sagas, the Icelandic sagas, and medieval fealty stories. So we could probably go further back and find that, like, I keep calling Samwise the OG Sam, but he's probably not the OG.
I mean, technically, couldn't Merlin fit this role for King Arthur?
I knew it. I knew as soon as I said it, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna come back to King Arthur. What? I don't know what conversation we were having the other day and whether it was on podcast or not, but we were talking about something else the other day that came back to King Arthur, and I thought there's a reason we're called Nerds of the Round Table. Everything seems to come back to King Arthur for some strange reason.
Mm.
It's just as you were saying it, and you were saying medieval. My brain just went, "Isn't that just Merlin?"
Yeah.
Down to the fact that King Arthur is literally the one that dies in the end, and Merlin goes on to live.
To be fair, I was going down more than Norse route.
Yeah. So I'm now thinking back. It's been a very long time since I've read Beowulf, but like stories like Beowulf probably have some characters in them.
There is. I can't think of what they're called. Well,
Okay, this is deeper than. Oh my god! It started out with Sam, but this is much bigger and deeper than Sam.
oh my
No.
god, we've even one of the deck.
Samwise Gamgee is the best Sam.
Yep,
Yes.
he is.
But luckily for the listeners, we're not a historical podcast. Although it turns out we all have an interest in that, so.
I love medieval and
Look out for an episode on King Arthur that will probably come at some point.
Yeah, I just realised that that's probably an episode in the making, isn't it?
yeah. It's ironically, I mean, but we could dance it.
Well,
True.
you are the round table, so that should have been the first clue. So,
But yeah,
Why make you Arthur?
I suppose I'd prefer to be Merlin, but I guess.
No, I'm more the side character in this duo. So I'm probably Merlin and you're Arthur.
Yeah, but I can barely walk, never mind wield a sword.
but it's all about personality. It's not about.
To be fair, I only can walk just a bit better than you.
True.
Who's the best Sam turns into? Who's the most mobility impacted?
I mean,
I'm not fighting.
we've got the right people on this episode for that debate.
We have got the right people on this episode for that, but I'm fine not fighting for the role of King Arthur. I'll take Gawain, thank you.
Why did I know you were going to say Sir Gawain?
Sir Gawain is cool.
Because he's cool and charismatic.
I'll keep with Merlin.
I guess that makes me Arthur. Let us know in the comments if you guys agree with that.
To be fair, dude, you are the main person on this. I'm just the side character.
That is.
To be fair, it is for my mental health. And so I keep doing this and not bailing on you. But I am technically the side and you are the main. Makes me Merlin, which I'm completely okay with because he's cooler.
I know he's cooler, which is why I'm. Anyway.
Which is why you want to be Merlin. But anyway, an argument for a different day.
So I am the Sam. You are the lead.
I guess.
It's nice to know.
Apparently that means that I will fall on my sword.
Oh,
and I will help you.
To be fair,
fall on your sword.
That is accurate. It would probably be an accident. So anyway.
Yeah.
I'm here, I guess.
Who do you guys think is the better Sam?
Yeah.
Who do you guys think is the most fucked up?
Who, I guess, haven't we mentioned that you actually think fits the description of the Sam? Can they take on Samwise Gamgee for the role of the best Sam?
I could give it a good go. But then again, I just want to hug him.
So, with that then, guys, we hope you've enjoyed this fun episode of the Help We're Nerds podcast. Just a little bit of lightheartedness, really. And
this time, I'm gonna lock Ethan in the office. So bad.
Oh man, you already did it. Anyway, with that, stay nerdy, everybody.
Help.
Bye.
Bye.
Jeez.